Hey guys, and welcome to Behind the Yellow Door at Two Friends. We've got some great stuff this week, so come on in. Y'all, this week Behind the Yellow Door, we have refluffed the store. We have all kinds of brand new arrivals. And as you can see right here, we are actually so super excited about Valentine's Day. And if you need a little treat for the Valentine on your list, you need to come and see what is here. So we've got this table set up with some fun pajamas. You can see here the fun pajamas with little hearts on them. Y'all, you know every girl loves a wonderful bottle of bubbles. And of course, over in the bubble bar, we have all sorts of selections of bubbles. And then, of course, we've got, try not to break that. Of course, we've got these fabulous little bags. These are by Galentine bag. I swoon over this one. It is a red velvet with this huge koi fish, double koi fish embellishment on it. So beautiful. Now, as you know, sometimes people are like, well, I don't want to buy a red purse. But I have to tell you, think about it. Red goes throughout the year. We just had Christmas, we wear red. We have Valentine's Day, we wear red. We have Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. Catherine just reminded me. And if you're a Georgia Bulldog, you know you're gonna wear some red. So there's lots and lots of opportunity to wear red. So keep that in mind as you're looking and shopping for the days ahead. So y'all, Gretchan Pettis, who has Interlude Antique Jewelry, was here in June of last year. And she and I were able to sit down after she finished her pop-up here in the store and have a wonderful conversation. Well, guess what? Gretchen is back and she's going to be here in the store Friday and Saturday, January 17th and 18th. That's the weekend of MLK weekend. So if you're in town, if you're on St. Thomas, make sure you come by and visit her. But I'm gonna link the video here because I really want y'all to watch that again. She's such a cool gal with a lot of wisdom and she's super fun and I think you'll just love watching it again. And come and meet her on the 17th and 18th of January. I know you'll find something beautiful. I'm wearing my beautiful stack from her today. The Two Friends girls gave me this bangle at Christmas, and y'all, it has my grandmother name on it, Lolly. And when they gave it to me, I just boo-hooed because it was one of the sweetest, most thoughtful things ever. So if you're looking for something special, be sure you come and visit us during her trunk show. Hope you guys have a fantastic week ahead, and we will see you in the days to come. Y'all, I am so excited to be here today with my sweet friend, Gretchan Pettis. Gretchen is from Monroe, Louisiana. But before I tell you anything else about her, I'm gonna pour us a glass of wine because I think our conversation is gonna need just a little sip here. I thank you for being here.
I'm just honored. And you know, it's really funny how Marty and I, and most of you don't know this, we came to be through a shared friend in Arkansas, Jamie Darling. And Jamie and I, our paths crossed last September after the boys left, and I was kind of trying to figure out what's the next chapter for me. And I did a show in beautiful Newport, Arkansas. With
Newport, Arkansas.
And it's,
y'all, she's from Louisiana. She went up to Arkansas. And now she's all the way over here in coastal Georgia.
And it's just neat. And so because of that connection, and I love that. I love how, and I think about this a lot too. I think, you know how a quilt is in old timey days that women would sew quilts and scraps of their life. And I think when you stand back, many years ago, I read a book called The Tapestry. And it talks about how, in a tapestry, those threads that weave, and you don't always see them when you're up close, but when you pull back and you see this beautiful kaleidoscope of grace and beauty, and whether it's through Jamie or meeting Marty, and then now the girls in here, and when I walked in the door, the very first time Catherine and I just bonded, her manager, because we both had children at Swanee, and it's just, I love that. I just love how we're connected, and it's been really just very special.
So one of the things, going back to Gretchen's beautiful jewelry, one of the things that everybody has asked is, where do you get all this beautiful stuff? And tell them what you told me.
I told her, I said, well, I go up north. Now, if y'all live up north, don't be offended. But I said, yeah, we don't get rid of our people's stuff here. You know, I do estate sales sometimes for friends at home, and there's your grandmother's Tupperware. You'll just go to bat over it. I mean, because if your mama owned it, we're not getting rid of it. It doesn't matter if it's a dill pickle fork. And we just hold on to it. And this jewelry is much the same. If it has your grandmother's toothprint, anything on it, I mean, whether it's Tupperware or a gold bracelet or her hair, a little bit of her hair, whatever it is, we're going to hold on to that because we hold dear those things. So I travel all over. And I love that, but it's fun bringing them home, and I love, that.
Making
any of the bracelets with the names, with the old hand engraving. And I keep a little running list of Edna, Lois, Myrtle, Mildred, and
Bessie.
All these names. I have Bessie right now. Esther, and I love Esther and Ruth, and just those names that mean something to us outside of whether it was your people,
right,
or it is a person like Esther or Ruth that are strong women of faith. I love that. And every Easter, I don't know if you've even looked back at that, but every Easter during Holy Week, I'll take a cross and I'll tell the story of what's going on through Holy Week through an antique cross. And then last year I started doing it with Advent and taking a piece, and I used a bracelet that had a woman's name on it. And I found ways to tie that in to each week of Advent. And whether it's for somebody else, or maybe sometimes I think the message is for me, what I learned, because what we teach, we master is what I've always been taught. I worked in corporate many years ago in Pfizer in New York, and that was one of our sayings, what I teach, I master. And I think we do that through our lives. We teach over and over. We teach our children, we teach our friends, and all through doing that, we teach ourselves over and over. And we're reminded.
Yeah, we are reminded. So y'all, I knew you would love her. We have just fallen in love with Gretchen. But so she has told all of these stories kind of around the table back there with the jewelry. And one of the stories about this particular type of bracelet, I fell in love with. So now, take that off. I want you to take that off. Let's put her here. I'll hold your glass. I want y'all to look at this bracelet. So so this is what I would do, because somebody would be back at the table and I'd be like, Gretchen, tell them the story about these types of bracelets.
So these bracelets, and it was interesting because I was here on D-Day, and they're called sweetheart bracelets. They're circa World War I, World War II, and they're little stretchy bracelets. They remind me of my mama, but they were given to the girls as the soldiers would go off to war. In World War I,
it's kind of their promise.
It's kind of like a promise ring that we would say now.
Right.
And many times they have hearts or names or initials, and they are so popular, and they're fun to wear, mixed in, layered with your stack,
y'all,
and timely.
I got Sally one of those for her birthday, and she absolutely loved it.
I'm so glad, and they're easy. So if you've had too much wine, I call them good wine drinking bracelets. Because you just slide them on, slide them off.
And they're stretchy, but there's not elastic. So the hardware and the way they're created is so cool. And I guess one of the reasons that they're still around today is because it's not easily breakable.
That's right.
Which is,
I love that. I love the stories and the fact that, I mean, and I have people sometimes are like, oh my gosh, it broke. And I'm like, no, it's made it 100 years, and then it gets to you.
Right.
So you have to be careful a little, but at the same time, that's the way. If you use your good Waterford, you want to be careful, or whatever you have.
So most of the pieces that Gretchen has, they're all over 100 years old. And I know, Gretchen, people are curious. They're gold filled, but tell them what that really means from 100 years ago.
Yeah. So gold filled, we often think 14 karat, and there are amazing pieces that are 14 karat, but old gold filled is really a little hidden treasure. It's not gold plated. It's made to be worn. It's early 1900s to about the 20s, 30s, into the 50s. That was 12 karat, and it was marked. But this was jewelry that was made to wear. It's not as soft. It doesn't carry a price point like a real expensive, most women, as you know, anybody goes to Target, you know that you will run out and spend $200 or $300 on yourself or on stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, and it doesn't last. And what's beautiful about this the old gold field is made to endure. If you clean it, people ask me all the time, how do you clean this stuff? I just drop it in regular old ammonia and it will clean. And there's some nice polishes that you can get if you need to do a little deeper cleaning. But it's really made to be worn.
Okay.
It doesn't dent as easily.
Well, and it doesn't.
And the luster is beautiful.
The color doesn't wear off.
That's
y'all.
right.
I mean, look, Gretchen's got a whole armful, and they're absolutely
And I
beautiful.
wear these every day.
And then my old piece that my husband gave me, it's a
Fabulous.
vintage piece. It's an old piece
that's
as well
what's
that
great.
just doesn't wear off. I mean, Lord have mercy, we could talk for days, Gretchen.
2 peas in a pod. We
mean,
are
2 peas in a pod, and y'all, Sonny has just hopped up here in my lap, taking a little nap. Now, I do have to ask one question. When she came over east from Louisiana, she came, what did you call that?
I called it the Chick-fil-A tour.
She came via the Chick-fil-A tour, and we were all like, Gretchen, what does that mean? Tell them what you did.
I only travel.
Chick-fil-A really
okay.
needs
They
to know
need to
this
know
story because she could be on a commercial.
Well, I can't travel on a Sundays. Let's just start with that. So what I did is I got the old-timey atlas. My children wouldn't know what that is probably. And I looked, I was like, well, heck, it's just a straight line, really. So I knew where the Chick-fil-A was in Meridian. So I went from Monroe to Meridian to the Chick-fil-A. And then I put in Montgomery, Alabama Chick-fil-A. Then I put in Selma, Alabama Chick-fil-A. Then I put in the GPS, Tipton, Georgia Chick-fil-A. And then I put in St. Simon's. So thanks to Chick-fil-A, because I knew that they would be nice, they'd be friendly, the bathrooms would be clean.
And
The
you
people,
felt safe.
and I felt safe because there were all these little families headed to the beach.
That's right.
So I just traveled the Chick-fil-A tour from Monroe, Louisiana
We're
to
going to
St.
call
Simon's.
it the Chick-fil-A Trail.
That's
all
it.
the way back to Meridian.
That's right.
Monroe,
to Monroe, to Fun Road.
Louisiana.
That's right.
Fun Road.
Fun Road is what we call it.
Oh my gosh, Fun Road. So I did ask her, I was like, oh my gosh, Duck Dynasty folks are from West Monroe.
They are.
And so she says she's just kind of grown up knowing who they were and what
Yes.
have you. And
Monroe is very famous. It's also, as I told her, the birthplace of Delta Airlines. And
wait, but do y'all know why it's called Delta Airlines?
because we live in the Delta. So.
They live in the Delta, and Delta was founded in Monroe, Louisiana.
In the Delta. And then they were the people at first figured out how to bottle Coca-Cola.
The
So,
same.
some of the same investors, Mr. Beatenhorn. So it's very much a
Really?
part. Monroe's been famous long before any of us long before I showed up. And we just have had our mark on the world.
Yeah.
And we laugh about that and talk about, those places that you're from, how important they are.
Yeah.
And how important it is for us and our children to know their history. I taught manners camps, and we talked about this. I taught a little camp several years ago, and it was called There's No Place Like Home. And the tagline I used for it is you have to know where you're from to know where you're going. And-
Y'all, I love that.
And there were I put my little 3rd grade girls that I taught at the Episcopal School in the car. We went all over Monroe, and I took them to all these places that were part of our community that you needed to know about, that they needed to go. So we have this beautiful
And they
castle.
need to know the history.
They need to know the history. They need to know about
Yeah.
Layton's Castle. They need to know about the river. We went down to the old city cemetery where the founders of our city lived. And so it was really neat for them. But it was wonderful for me. Again, what I teach our master, I learned more than I ever taught. And it was really neat. So
I love that.
Anyway,
Cheers.
cheers to a good time and good friends.
Oh, y'all. This girl is just full of great stories and wisdom, and she's full of God's love, and it just shows through everything she does. And I just say cheers to you, my friend.
Thank you.
May we meet again.
Amen, sister.